So let's set up user and hardware phones. So first go to settings and phone and fax and incoming calls. And here is a list of all of the users and hardware phones that are connected to Casper. So every user and phone can make a call, but you might not necessarily want them to receive calls. So maybe the users who are usually logged in on different operatory computers don't need to be bothered with receiving calls. So I'll switch it off for like dental assistants and hygienist accounts. And maybe I don't want the lab or consult rooms to receive calls, so I will switch those off too. So, boop, boop. So that's a good example. Okay. If you switch these off, those phones and users will not receive incoming calls, but you can still forward calls to that phone or user, and the phone will ring. So if you don't want incoming calls going to the lab phone, but you may want to like transfer a call to the lab, then this will work. So you can switch it off. So another thing to think about is maybe you are at the front desk, okay? And you're logged into your user account on the computer, which has the ability to answer phones, but you also have a hardware phone in front of you. So you might still want the ability to receive calls on the web phone, but you just don't want to hear it ringing, because then you would have the front phone ringing and your web phone ringing, but you just don't want to like hear the ringing. You can always modify the notification settings by clicking the little gear up here and just switching them to your preference. So you can turn off the sounds and you can still see it like kind of pop up when it rings, but you don't need to necessarily switch it off to avoid hearing the calls. So the second thing we want to do is set up hardware phones. So settings, phone and fax, go to hardware phones. So this is a list of all of the hardware phones connected to your account. So you'll want to give each one a name so that you know which is which. So here I have named them these front one and front two, but maybe Pam always sits at this spot and Jim always sits at another. So you could name one Pam desk and the other one Jim desk. It doesn't matter. Do whatever you'd like and what works for you. I have a phone in Dr. Scott's office, and one in the lab, and one in the consult room, and one at the billing specialist desk. So I've labeled all of those accordingly. Now let's customize their directories. So click the directory settings button. And the first one is always going to be the phone that you are using. So this is front one. And then you can add an agent, which is any other office phone or user account. So agent, and I'm going to select front two. And I'm going to label it front two. And that would let me transfer the call to front two. You can also transfer it to, a user or something like that if you wanted to pick up on a web phone. You can also forward the call to an external number. So maybe if it's an emergency and I want to be able to forward a call to the doctor's cell phone number because he's out of the office, you would click speed dial external number and then add a number. I'll put this one. I'll label it Dr. Cell. And then forwarding, just keep in mind, forwarding calls to an external number, it's not going to show the patient call or caller the number it's being forwarded to. So his private contact info will be safe, but that way you can forward a call to him without sharing his personal number. One thought, don't set it up to forward to the user. So, you know, Dr. Scott will probably, he has an account for sure. So let's see, where is it? Michael Scott, there we go. So, okay, yeah. So one thought, don't set it up to forward to the user, Dr. Scott, because if he is out of office, the Casper app, it makes outgoing calls, but it doesn't get incoming calls. So if you want his phone to ring while out of office, you'll want to forward it to his personal number. You can also add park lines. So if you put a call on hold, it's only going to be on hold on that phone. But if you put, oops, let's go back to here. But if you put it on a park line, then you can pick up that call on any other phone with that park line. So I will add park line 1, and I will add park line 2. So this is helpful because forwarding a call will send that call to another phone or user. But if they don't pick it up in time, then the call will drop. So maybe an office call to speak with Dr. Scott, but he's finishing up an exam. You can put that call in park 1, and then he can pick up that call in his office. So once you've customized your directory to your liking, you're going to want to click Reboot Phone. Once this is done, you will see the updates reflect on your hardware phone. So that's done. Then you're going to want to finish customizing the rest of your hardware phones and make sure that the park lines match. So I'll do Dr. Scott's desk. So if Dr. Scott's office doesn't have a park 1, you know, and you put a call on hold on park 1, then, and you wanted him to pick it up in his office, he's not going to be able to. So make sure that people are able to pick up at the phone that you want them to pick up at. So we'll add park line 1. Oops. I'll add park line 2. So as you can see, lots of different options to customize what works for you in your office. And so be as creative as you like. If there's something that you notice might need to be different or needs to be changed, you're able to do that whenever you need to. So it's super helpful. So good luck.